the next machine we're going to be looking at is called the jointer. Basically, the jointer is used to straighten or smooth the faces and edges of a board. Alright, so here you can see a video of me doing the face, and here we're doing the edge. If you remember looking at this diagram, the face is the big flat spot. Okay, so that's going to be step 2 of the squaring process. The edge of the board we're going to do on step number 4. That'll be a future video that you're going to see later. Note that we never do the end of a board. Okay, so the end grain never gets done on the jointers. That's going to be saved later for the table saw. Okay, so either the face or the edge. For now, we're just going to focus on the actual face of the board. So it's kind of hard to explain how this works, but if we look at the side profile of the jointer, you're going to see there's an in-feed table and an out-feed table with a cutter head in the middle. As we pass this board through the cutter head, you'll notice that the outfeed and infeed table are at different heights. The outfeed table is a little bit higher than this infeed table. So as it passes through, basically a very thin amount of material is removed from the edge or face of the board. Okay, so as we do multiple passes, a little bit more gets trimmed away each time. Eventually that surface becomes nice and straight. The parts of the machine you're going to recognize some of them from the miter saw demo that we did last. The off switch and on switch are mounted up on a little stand here. The off switch is more of a reset because you'll find that you need to twist it before you can actually turn on the machine. I'll show you here in a second. But you basically just twist it slightly to the right. That then allows you to turn on the machine. We have the fence is what we push the board up against. We have the in-feed table. The board's going to pass in the in-feed table and it's going to come out the out-feed table. Okay, we have a guard that's going to swing away as we push the board through. That guard moves out of the way, but what it does is it protects and hides the cutter head when it's not needed. Okay, it only exposes it when the board is actually ready to be cut. So there you saw I quickly twisted that red reset switch, and then I can then press on the green button. Alright, what you saw me doing there, I just want to back up here a second, is we're checking to see which surface is most flat. Okay, is this face flat or is the one down against the table flat? We want whatever side is most flat to be down. Alright, so let's watch this again here. So see how much wiggle there was there? I flip it over and it's a lot more stable. So that stable side is what I want down on the table. Okay, it just makes it easier, saves you a lot of time. Okay, so that flat side's down. I did my first pass. Then do my second pass. And you'll notice as I'm doing that, I use push blocks for jointing the face. What that does is gives us a little protection between my hands and the cutter head, which is underneath the board right there, which you can't see right now. That gives us a little bit of protection in case that board were to shoot out, that there's protection between my hand and that actual cutter head. Alright, so I'm on my second pass here. 1 or 2 passes is usually all you need, just so that that surface is flat. You see me then reaching to turn off that reset switch. Just press it and then you're all set. Alright, let me back up here a second. So the safety we went through there as in the demo. One thing I did not mention is the board must be at least 12 inches long. Just like the miter saw, we need at least 12-inch length to safely joint it. I mentioned about the blade guard must always be in place. We never joint the end grain. We always make sure the flattest or most stable face of the board is down against the table. You saw in the video I was checking both sides to see whatever side's most flat. I want that flat side that's down against the table. Alright, during the cut, we always make sure we use a push block when we are jointing the face of a board. Okay, you saw that orange push block. I used 2 of them, push paddles, whatever you want to call them. That gives me basically the 4-inch clearance that I need from the cutter head. A step we'll look at in number 4 is we use a push stick if we're doing a skinny piece. Don't worry too much about that now. You might see that on the quiz. So just know if the board is lower than the fence, if you're doing like the edge, we always use a push stick to give us a little clearance. Alright, we always start in front of the in-feed table and then we walk with the board from right to left. and we never attempt to back out of a cut. So what that means is as we're starting to move it through the cutter head, you never want to stop and go backwards the other way. Okay, you always just want to continue moving in one smooth direction every time you use the joiner.